Let me tell you something, the 1% don't think like you. They don't act like you. They don't see the world the way you see it. So why should you continue to expect the results you've always gotten? If you want to break through the glass ceiling, you better start thinking like the 1%. And I'm here to show you exactly how. Are you tired of being stuck in the same old cycle, working hard but never getting the results you deserve? The 1% aren't just lucky. They've got something you don't, the right mindset. If you want to move from average to extraordinary, you need to understand how to think and act like they do. It's time to shift your thinking, make bold decisions, and stop making excuses. The difference between the 1% and the other 99% is simple. The 1% understand that mediocrity is the fastest way to failure. Mediocrity may feel comfortable, but it's a trap. It's the excuse that keeps you from pushing harder, doing more, and becoming better. Mediocrity tells you that good enough is okay, that it's acceptable to settle for less than your best. But the truth is, good enough will never be enough to achieve extraordinary results. The 1% know that to achieve the kind of success they crave, they have to demand excellence, not just from the world around them, but from themselves. Excellence is a mindset that drives every decision, every action, and every outcome. It's not something you can flip on and off. It's about making excellence the standard for everything you do. From the way you conduct your business to the way you interact with people. Excellence is the foundation on which all success is built. It means consistently showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It means putting in the extra hours when everyone else is clocking out. It means demanding more from yourself, knowing that what you do today will determine the opportunities available to you tomorrow. You've been conditioned to believe that mediocrity is acceptable. Society tells you that working just enough to get by is enough, but the reality is that kind of mindset will only keep you stuck. The 1% don't accept the status quo. They're constantly pushing the envelope, seeking ways to improve and refusing to be complacent. They understand that greatness isn't achieved by doing what's easy. It's achieved by consistently pushing the limits of what's possible. You cannot afford to sit back and coast through life hoping that things will get better. You have to be intentional about the level of excellence you demand in your own life. This doesn't just apply to work, it applies to every aspect of your existence, how you show up in your relationships, how you manage your health, how you handle your finances. Everything should be treated with the same level of excellence that you want to see in your results. Mediocrity doesn't win championships, it doesn't build empires, and it certainly doesn't create legacy. Excellence does. Too many people are content to blame circumstances, the economy, their upbringing, or even their luck for their lack of success. But the 1% don't make excuses, they make moves. When challenges arise, they rise with them. They don't wait for opportunities, they create them. And they don't wait for someone else to tell them they're doing a good job. They hold themselves accountable to the highest standard. Excellence is not just about getting things done. It's about getting things done to the absolute best of your ability, even when it's uncomfortable. If you want to elevate your life, you need to stop settling. Mediocrity has no place in your journey. You must hold yourself accountable to a level of excellence that will set you apart from everyone else. The world isn't looking for average, it's looking for the exceptional. Your greatness isn't going to just happen, it's going to require you to commit to excellence every single day. Refuse to accept mediocrity as an option. Refuse to accept anything less than the best. The 1% don't settle, and neither should you. You have the power to demand more from yourself. It's time to elevate your standards and start living with a commitment to excellence. Anything less is simply unacceptable. The 1% see problems differently than the rest of the world. While most people view obstacles as roadblocks, the elite see them as opportunities waiting to be seized. This shift in perspective is not just a mindset, it's a way of life. The truth is that obstacles are inevitable. You can't avoid them, no matter how much you try. Life will throw challenges your way. And the difference between success and failure is how you respond to them. The 1% don't waste time complaining about how unfair life is or feeling sorry for themselves when things go wrong. Instead, they ask one powerful question: what can I learn from this? They understand that every obstacle is a lesson in disguise. Every failure is an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Most people will tell you to avoid failure at all costs. They will preach caution, comfort, and staying within the lines. But the 1% know that true growth comes from stepping out of their comfort zones and embracing challenges head on. The reality is, you can't grow without facing adversity. The pain, the setbacks, the roadblocks. These are the experiences that shape the person you are becoming. You have to get comfortable with discomfort. The 1% understand that failure is not the end of the road. It's merely a detour. They don't let a single setback define them. They don't get paralyzed by fear of failure. Instead, they push forward with even more determination, knowing that each failure is bringing them closer to success. In fact, failure becomes a tool they use to refine their strategies. When a business deal falls through or a new venture doesn't take off, the 1% doesn't panic. They assess the situation, learn from their mistakes, and then adjust their approach. They get better each time they fail. They ask themselves, what went wrong? What can I do differently? How can I turn this setback into an advantage? This process of learning from failure is not just a mindset, it's a habit, a discipline, and a strategy for long-term success. It's how they continuously stay ahead of the curve and evolve as individuals and entrepreneurs. By embracing failure, the 1% also develop an unshakable confidence. They no longer fear making mistakes because they know that failure is just part of the journey. They view every challenge as an opportunity to prove themselves. And that's how they achieve extraordinary results. They dominate the obstacles because they don't let fear or doubt cloud their judgment. Instead of shrinking away from adversity, they attack it head on, knowing that it's through overcoming difficulties that they become the best in the world at what they do. When you start viewing obstacles as opportunities, your entire approach to life changes. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as a victor in the making. You realize that nothing can stand in your way, not the economy, not competition, not even your own doubts, because you know how to turn every obstacle into a stepping stone toward your greatness. The 1% don't just survive, they thrive in the face of adversity. And if you adopt their mindset, so will you. Indecision is one of the most toxic forces you can allow in your life. It paralyzes your progress, keeps you stuck in a cycle of doubt, and wastes precious time. You can't afford to wait around, hoping for the perfect moment for the stars to align. The 1% don't operate that way, and neither should you. They understand that in life, the biggest barrier to success isn't a lack of resources, skills, or opportunities. It's the inability to make decisions quickly and commit to them fully. When you constantly hesitate, you give away your power, you give away your time, you give away your potential. How many opportunities have passed you by because you didn't act fast enough? How many times have you sat in the same spot, waiting for the perfect conditions to come together, only to realize months or even years later that nothing changed? The 1% are not waiting for permission. They don't wait for approval. They make bold decisions and move forward, knowing that they'll adjust and adapt as necessary. They trust their instincts and their vision. They don't second guess themselves. Sure, they may stumble along the way, but they don't allow indecision to slow them down. The 1% know that failure is part of the journey, and if they make the wrong choice, they'll learn, pivot, and adjust. But they don't waste time doubting themselves or fearing the unknown. They move with confidence, with conviction, and with purpose. You see, the key to success is not about making the perfect decision, because there is no such thing. The key is making a decision and then committing to it with everything you've got. You need to stop waiting for everything to be ideal before you take action. Perfection is an illusion, and it will keep you stuck in analysis paralysis. The 1% are quick decision makers. They move fast, they act with boldness, and they stay committed even when things get tough. They know that inaction is the true enemy. The longer you wait, the more opportunities slip through your fingers. Think about it. The world is moving at lightning speed. Those who hesitate and hold back will always be left behind. But the ones who make decisions swiftly, those who act without fear, are the ones who seize the future. Every moment you waste wondering whether or not to take action is a moment you'll never get back. Don't let fear of making the wrong decision keep you from moving forward. The 1% don't fear mistakes. They understand that mistakes are just stepping stones on the path to success. They learn from their decisions and use them as fuel to propel themselves further. You need to develop that same mindset. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop waiting for the perfect time to start. Start now, make a decision, and go for it. If it doesn't work out, adjust and move forward. But don't sit back and let life pass you by because you're afraid of making the wrong choice. The 1% are making decisions with boldness, with conviction, and they're making them now. They're creating their own opportunities. And you should too. Time is your most valuable resource. Don't waste it. Don't wait for someone to tell you what to do. You already know. Trust yourself. Take that step, make that decision, and move forward like the 1% you're meant to be. Inaction is your biggest enemy, so act, adapt, and conquer. It's time to take control. You can sit around complaining about the economy, blaming external circumstances, or waiting for the right moment, but the truth is, none of those things are within your control. You can't control the market or the government. You can't make other people act the way you want them to. But what you can control, what you can absolutely control, is your mindset, your work ethic, and your attitude. Now, let me tell you something. The 1% understand this at a level that most people never will. They understand that energy spent on things they can't control is wasted energy. They don't sit around pointing fingers or making excuses. They don't get caught up in the noise of the world. They focus only on what moves them forward, on what's within their realm of influence. And that is the secret to their success. They understand that the way they think, how they respond to challenges, and the actions they take are the only things that truly matter. Think about it. If you're constantly stressing over things you can't change, like how much money your competitor's making or how hard the economy is hitting, you're only draining your energy. You're wasting valuable time and effort on things that are beyond your reach. And that kind of thinking doesn't lead to success. It leads to frustration, burnout, and a mindset of victimhood. The 1% don't let external factors dictate their future. They know that success is all about what happens inside their mind. They control their attitude. They choose to be positive, even when things aren't going their way. They understand that life doesn't always unfold perfectly, but how they respond to setbacks, failures, and challenges is what defines them. They don't let negative circumstances stop them. They rise above them. And the same must be true for you. You must choose to control your mindset. When things get tough, when life knocks you down, that's when you need to dig deep and tap into your inner strength. You've got to develop the mindset that failure isn't final. It's just a lesson. And every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. The 1% are relentless in their pursuit of success because they never allow themselves to wallow in defeat. They get up, learn from the experience, and take immediate action to get back on track. And then there's work ethic. The 1% don't work harder, they work smarter. But that doesn't mean they take shortcuts. They put in the time, the effort, and the focus required to make things happen. They are consistent, disciplined, and deliberate in how they approach every task. They know that every hour counts. Every action, no matter how small, is a step toward their ultimate goal. They don't waste time scrolling on social media or procrastinating on what matters. They are relentless in their execution, and they do it with passion and precision. Your attitude is just as critical. It's the fuel that drives your actions. If you approach life with a negative attitude, expecting failure or setbacks, that's exactly what you'll get. But if you approach life with the attitude that you will succeed no matter what, you will find a way. The 1% don't wait for motivation to strike. They create their own. They wake up with a mindset that they are going to make today count. And that attitude makes all the difference. Focus on what you can control, your mindset, your work ethic, your attitude. These are the things that will propel you forward. Stop wasting your energy on the uncontrollable and start putting everything you've got into what you can change, yourself. It's time to take responsibility for your future and start making moves. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is not just a cliche, it's a reality. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on the way you think, the decisions you make, and ultimately your success. If you're constantly surrounded by individuals who are content with mediocrity, who have no ambition to achieve greatness, or who are content staying in their comfort zone, you're setting yourself up for failure. You might not even realize it, but the energy, the attitude, and the mindset of those around you will rub off on you, whether you like it or not. You've got to make a choice. Do you want to keep operating in the same cycle of comfort and complacency, or do you want to level up and get to the top? The 1% understand that the people they associate with will either elevate them or keep them stagnant. That's why they're intentional about their inner circle. They don't surround themselves with negative influences or toxic people who drain their energy. They seek out individuals who inspire them, who push them, and who share a vision for success that matches their own. Success is a team sport. You can't get to the top alone. You need people who challenge your ideas, question your assumptions, and hold you accountable to your highest standards. Winners don't just celebrate your success, they drive you to reach even greater heights. They make you uncomfortable in the best possible way, pushing you beyond your limits and showing you that your potential is limitless if you're willing to do the work. Look around you. Are the people you spend your time with lifting you up, inspiring you to do more, or holding you back from your potential? If your circle isn't encouraging your growth, it's time for a change. You don't need to cut people off, but you do need to reevaluate who's in your life and why. Are they bringing value to your life, or are they taking it away? Are they challenging you to think bigger and act bolder, or are they content to let you settle for less? The 1% aren't afraid to cut ties with people who no longer serve their purpose. They know that time is the most valuable resource they have, and they refuse to waste it on relationships that don't propel them forward. When you surround yourself with people who share your drive, your ambition, and your vision, they'll elevate your mindset, they'll make you believe in yourself when you start to doubt, and they'll keep you focused when the world tries to distract you. Don't be afraid to outgrow people. Don't be afraid to distance yourself from those who aren't committed to their own growth. Your circle should inspire you to dream bigger, work harder, and aim higher. If the people around you don't push you to become a better version of yourself, it's time to find a new circle. The truth is, you can't afford to stay surrounded by mediocrity if you're serious about winning. The road to greatness is narrow, and the 1% understand that they can't afford distractions or dead weight. They build a network of high achievers, go-getters, and innovators who challenge them to be better every day. You have the power to do the same. Start building your network of winners. People who don't just see the world as it is, but as it could be. People who won't settle for anything less than greatness. And remember, your success is in direct proportion to the quality of people you allow in your life. Surround yourself with winners, and you'll become one of them. It's time for you to stop living like everyone else and start thinking like the 1%. Excellence, action, bold decisions. This is how they think. If you want to break out of the 99% and into the 1%, you have to change the way you think, the way you act, and the way you execute. Don't wait for the perfect time. Make today the day you take your first step towards greatness. The world is waiting for you to make your move.